is your health the doctor's first concern? No. Paying the bills is the doctor's first concern, you know? And you know how the rationale goes. Everybody does. If I don't stay in business, I can't help anybody, right? So paying the bills around here is the first concern, and that's where that's where the downfall of the institution begins. It's when the people that they're serving become a secondary concern. Because if you can make the people that you're serving, especially with something as sacred, okay, as medicine, if you can make them a secondary concern, well then it's only a matter of time, and I dare say a short matter of time, before they become a thirdly. How do you say third level as opposed to secondary? A tertiary? No, that's not right. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. A third place concern. And then if you can make them a third place concern, well then, you know, that's like the epitome, the classic example of a slippery slope. People get carried away with the idea of a slippery slope. But there are some things, not all things, but there are some things where, you know, when you break that sacred trust, then it's like taking a little chisel and poking a little hole in a dike, you know? Once you poke a hole in that dike or a dam, you know, the water's going through that hole, and it just makes the hole bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, you know? It's just a matter of time before the whole thing falls apart, right? And that's the way sacred trust is. With things like, you know, medicine and education, I mean, things that directly impact and affect human beings. I guess maybe every business is like that, really, to be honest with you. I mean, once you stop making your customer number one, then, you know, you've just initiated your own demise, you know. Your institution might be big enough such that your demise is so far in the future that, hey, you can't see it coming and you don't really care because you know you're not going to be around when it happens. But nevertheless, you have kicked off that spark, that catalyst. That is the catalyst. That marks the beginning of the demise of your interest, you know. And I'll say the same thing with affirming your existence. If we do not vigorously, right, assertively, what's the word? Borderline, okay, borderline, and maybe even over the border sometimes, antagonistically, right? Step over the border every now and then and go into antagonistic land to affirm your own existence in the interest of that. Don't be antagonistic to hurt other people. I'm saying have enough passion about affirming your own existence, not only the cold, contextless fact that you do exist, not only that, because that's just the beginning. That's the simplest level of things, and you don't want to stay there. Not only affirm the simple fact that you do exist, but affirm the nature and the form of your existence. Be a little bit antagonistic about it. You'll find out that true antagonism is a lot further off than you actually thought it was. Because you were living in fear. You were living like this little creature that just sits under the porch and just shivers, and, you know, you don't want to be seen, you don't want to be known, you were made to be seen. You were made to be heard. You were made to affirm your existence. You were given a voice for a reason. You were given a unique perspective on things for a reason, and the world will be damaged if you withhold that from the world. I believe. That's my belief. Now let me tell you, to me, this is where it gets very interesting. If you can wrap your head around that, okay? If you can accept that, and if you can internalize that and digest that even just a little bit, if you agree with me on that, then I think that you will. I think you have no choice but to also agree with this, that people who would try to suppress your ability to affirm your existence, People who would try to rein you in and fence you in and dampen you down and keep you quiet and keep you small. Okay? These are people who are cooperating with a force. They may not be the exact people themselves, but they are cooperating with the people who, they're part of a force of people. All right? They're part of a force, a movement, a spirit that is seeking to eliminate your existence altogether. You don't want to be a part of that. You don't want to cooperate with that. And if you cooperate with it, you're a part of it. And if you refuse to affirm your existence, and if you keep your mouth shut out of fear, then you are cooperating with that force, and with that movement, and with that spirit. And that spirit is a spirit of death. And if you allow that spirit to take you down, right, then you are helping that spirit to take other people down. I believe. That's why I believe. I don't care how small you are, how dumb you think you are, how inarticulate you think you are, how unattractive you think you are, how true it is that nobody will want to hear from you. Doesn't matter how much you think all of that is true. You have a duty to your Creator to affirm your existence and to stand up and be counted and be heard. That's my belief. Affirm your existence. God bless you. Have a good night.